What if I told you that your doctor isn't going to fix you? Not because they don't want to help, but because true healing starts with you. When we rely on external systems to tell us what's best for our body, we disconnect from the wisdom that's already inside of us. Today, I'm sharing with you how you can take your health into your own hands, raise your vibration, and start feeling your best without waiting for someone else to give you permission to heal. So in today's video, I have a bit of a controversial topic. A lot of people would disagree with what it is that I'm going to say in this video. However, everything that I'm telling you right now is based on science, spirituality, and facts. The first thing I want to talk about is an analogy that helped me really start to take my health into my own hands. It's an analogy that I received from a very prominent microbiologist slash herbalist slash healer here on YouTube. I will share a link down to his channel below. One of my favorite practitioners and teachers here on YouTube says that you need to imagine your body as if it's a plant. Plants require 7 essential things that they need to thrive, and those things are oxygen, sunlight, magnetism, nutrients, hydration, spirituality, and love. And this is no different than everything that we need. And so we want to start to think of our bodies as a plant. So just as plants need water, sunlight, and soil, your body needs movement, nourishment, and care. In order to fully understand this analogy and bring it down into your practical everyday life, you want to ask yourself certain questions like, do I need more hydration? A lot of the times we don't realize we simply just need to hydrate ourselves. And one of the best ways to do that is to drink water with electrolytes or to drink spring water, mineral water. You want something that's high in mineral content because a lot of the water that we're consuming doesn't contain any beneficial nutrients for us. One of my favorite things to do is to walk around with coconut water because it contains a lot of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis. Sometimes I'll even fast and only consume coconut water because at least I know I'm getting the electrolytes and the nutrients that I need to maintain my energy levels. So hydration is really, really important, and a lot of ailments and diseases and sicknesses can actually be resolved by just making sure that you're staying hydrated and getting enough water throughout the day, and not just regular water, but water that contains beneficial nutrients to help us thrive. Is my environment supporting my health? This is another question that you can ask, because just as plants need the right soil to grow, we need the right environment to prosper. Our cells respond to our environment, and if we're in a toxic environment, or if we're in an environment that triggers any sort of trauma response to us, or if we're in an environment that we feel like we're suppressing ourselves, we need to find ways to remove ourselves from these environments. I know a lot of the times this isn't easy for people. However, this is one of the main factors that contributes to our health. A lot of people don't realize that they are experiencing certain ailments simply for the fact that they are stressed out. And this could be due to job, this could be due to our relationship, to family matters, or whatever the situation is. We have to be able to recognize when our environment is being a detriment to our health. Am I feeding myself the right nutrients? This is the next question that you want to ask yourself. Are you consuming highly processed foods? If so, this is probably the first place that I would start, by eliminating or at least reducing processed foods as much as possible. You want to make sure that you're consuming as many whole plants as possible. This is what a plant-based diet mostly consists of. And this doesn't mean that you need to change your complete diet overnight. One thing that I recommend, if you are someone who is still in the process of removing processed foods or becoming a vegetarian or a vegan, whatever the case is, definitely start small. I don't recommend jumping into a complete lifestyle change overnight because it's going to be harder for you to build habits that way. So you want to slowly ease into it and do what works best for you by incorporating more smoothies, more juices, and you'll begin to see that your preferences start to change over time. And this is a better way for you to build habits to begin taking your health into your own hands. You'll start to notice the clarity that you're feeling, and so much more. I will make other videos specifically on this point alone. Am I getting enough nutrients for my body? This is something that I could spend hours talking about, so we'll save it for another video. But the last question that you want to ask yourself when thinking of yourself as a plant and taking care of yourself and taking your health into your own hands is, am I speaking to myself with love, the way we speak to our plants? Plants thrive off of sound vibration alone, and a lot of the times, these vibrations, when they're coming from love, allows our plants to grow exponentially, bearing fruit, whatever the case is. And so we want to speak to ourselves with the same level of love and frequency and vibration as we would to our plants. This also includes listening to certain frequencies that may put us into a higher vibration, just as we would for our plants. I don't know about you, but I do like to play music for my plants, and I like to make sure that I speak to them and give them as much love as possible so that they can flourish. And so why not do this for myself, or why don't we do this for others? So the way you care for your body will dictate how you feel, just like how plants thrive in the right conditions. So that is the first thing that I like to address when speaking of our own health, is just tying it back to our plants. If we're able to take care of our plants the way that we do, why can't we take care of our bodies? And I know a lot of people are probably going to say, oh, I don't have a green thumb. I've never been able to keep a plant alive. Well, that's okay, because you can take these same concepts and apply them to yourself. And then over time, eventually you can begin working with plants. And plants are a great reflection of how we are feeling. So if you are feeling great and you're happy and you're well nourished, chances are your plants will be too. So now I want to talk about some of the benefits of taking your health into your own hands. Once you take control of your health, everything shifts. You experience mental clarity, which is one of my favorite benefits. No more fatigue, no more brain fog. I typically like to go on a fast for about 3 to 7 days if I start to experience any sort of brain fog, which is usually a result of me being out of routine, or me eating things that I shouldn't be eating, or being around different energies for extended periods of time. I sometimes begin to experience brain fog, which prompts me to then do a detox or a cleanse to kind of help clear this out. And as you can see, there's going to be a common theme throughout the rest of this video, where a lot of this comes back to your gut health and what is your gut doing and telling you in order for you to feel healthy. So the next thing is increased energy and motivation, waking up feeling ready to create, to tackle the things that you've had on the back burner for such a long time. It also eliminates procrastination. A lot of the times when we're feeling sick or when we're not feeling our best selves, we tend to spend a lot of time dwelling on that. And that leaves very little space for us to go after our dreams and do the things that we desire. The next thing is you begin to raise your vibrations when you take your health into your own hands. A healthier body just simply means a higher frequency. And as I will mention in later videos, we are made up of trillions and trillions of cells, and each cell has essentially a mind of its own. So when each cell is optimized and when each cell is working at optimal capacity, we are then able to receive and operate at a higher vibration, allowing us to change our reality into one that we desire. I won't get too technical on this, but maybe in a later video I will share. I won't get too technical here, but when you raise your vibration, it leads us to my last point here, which is you create a new reality for yourself. Your health reflects your choices. And so when you're vibrating higher, you tend to make better choices. Things tend to come to you, people, resources, opportunities that align with where you want to be in life begin to come to you. Think about people who are sick. They don't have much time or space or energy to allow any of these higher frequencies to come to them. So when you begin to take your health into your own hands, it creates better habits, better choices, and a better outlook on life. So it's not just about avoiding sickness, it's about stepping into your highest aligned self. Even if you're not sick, this video is able to help you elevate into a higher vibration. So next I want to talk about how to build awareness so that you can start healing. All of this doesn't really matter if you're not able to recognize when you are out of alignment. Healing starts with awareness. So you have to know what feeling good actually feels like, and to be able to recognize when something is off. And here are some ways that you can begin doing that. Notice how certain foods make you feel. Do they make you feel energized or sluggish? This is something that I have recently started incorporating into my own eating habits. I only gravitate towards foods that I know are going to give me the energy I need to move throughout my day. I've noticed that heavier foods tend to make me a little more sluggish, making me unmotivated, tired throughout my day, fatigued, and that sort of thing. And so one of of the great ways that you can begin taking your health into your own hands is start choosing foods that are going to give you energy. These are your fruits, these are your vegetables, these are your juices, your smoothies, light smoothies at that. Less animal-based proteins, because a lot of the times these proteins take a lot of energy to consume and digest and metabolize. So you want foods that are going to essentially move through you with ease, but also giving you the nutrients that you need to go throughout your day. Observe your emotions. Are you holding on to stress in your body? If you're holding on to stress, this might be a good indication that you may need to partake in some sort of healing modality that will allow you to release the stress. One of my favorites is past life regression therapy. It will go in and allow you to visit previous lifetimes or previous moments in your current lifetime where you may have been holding on to a traumatic event that you are carrying throughout your current lifetime. And through regression therapy, you're able to release and let it go. You'll feel much lighter. You'll begin to recognize that the choices you used to make were based on traumas, and you can now make better choices moving forward. Another great option is just general therapy to speak about your emotions, to remove anything that's suppressed because it's holding you down. And a lot of the times people don't realize that they're walking around making choices based on past traumas, past programmed beliefs that aren't theirs, and those sort of things. So you want to observe your emotions first and foremost, bring them to the surface, process them, and recognize that they are not for you. Let them go so that you can move forward with ease and lightness. Check in with your habits. Are you fueling yourself or are you numbing yourself? A lot of the times this may look like scrolling through social media aimlessly, doom scrolling as most people call it. This may look like procrastination. This may look like choosing junk food or fast food over a healthy home cooked meal or a healthier option. You want to recognize every choice you make is either fueling you or numbing you. And so when you understand this, you become more conscious and aware of the choices that you make throughout the day. And as a result of this, your body speaks to you in symptoms, so you want to pay attention. Being able to heal yourself is a true superpower. When you start changing your habits, nourishing your body, and aligning with what feels good, your entire energy shifts. And once you can heal yourself, you naturally help others because your energy raises the collective vibration. So next, let's talk about some practical steps you can begin taking today to help you begin taking control of your health. The first thing you want to do is educate yourself. You can read books, listen to podcasts, and learn about your body. The more you know about your body, the more you know when things are no longer in alignment. And the easier and the quicker you can begin to reinforce the right changes in order to avoid any further symptoms. Step 2 is to change your daily routines. Start your day with nourishing foods and mindful movement. If you don't have a morning routine, I highly recommend that you begin to find what works for you. The way you start your day will determine the rest of the choices that you make throughout the day, the way that you're feeling, and the way that you're moving. So you want to make sure that you're starting your day properly and that you're giving yourself enough time to check in with your body and truly understand what's going on. So step number 3 is pay attention to what you consume. This is something that I talk about extensively because it's so important to the choices that we make throughout the day. If you allow yourself to aimlessly consume content, media, food, energies that don't align with your highest purpose, you then become a victim to those consumptions. You are no longer in control. So you want to make sure that you are deciding what it is that you consume. You're making the best choices for yourself. And again, this is not just food. This is social media. This is music. This is people that you spend time with. You want to make sure that you are in control of the energy that you put out, the vibrations and the frequencies that you are around. And step number 4, something that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, is to try fasting. Give your body time to rest and heal. There are so many different forms of fasting. Depending on your circumstances, you can go as extreme as a dry fast or just a water fast. But if you are not experiencing extreme circumstances, I do recommend maybe starting with a fruit fast. You can start with 1 day, work your way up to 3 days. You can also do intermittent fasting where you're only fasting for a few hours of the day, probably up until 4 p.m. or around lunch or dinner time, giving your body a time to rest and heal and to regenerate the energy needed to carry you throughout your days. Fasting is such a great way to help with any symptoms you might be experiencing, especially when it comes to your gut or the nervous system. If I do recommend consulting your physician if you do plan on fasting, just to make sure that this is something that will be beneficial for you. You want to make sure that you do your research. I always tell people to do their research. And again, start small. You don't need to go in and do a 10-day fast here, just maybe 1 or 2 days just to see how it makes you feel. I personally like to do juicing and fruits only, but whatever works for you, you will figure that out. But be sure to do whatever works for you. And again, you don't have to change everything overnight. The key here is to start somewhere. Your future self will thank you. So with that, I will say your health is in your hands and no one else's. The more you listen to your body, the more you realize that health isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. And this is the goal. So if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe for more wellness and self-healing content. Comment down below what's one thing that you're doing today to take control of your health. Thank you.